Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers showcase video. In today's video, we're looking at another fancy small block ship, and this one is called the Flavio VECTOR, which is this lovely thing right here. So this is a small block civilian ship that features a bunch of guns on here to make sure you're nice and protected while out and about exploring, and it puts the armored plates to very good use all the way around the ship. Pressing F10 and finding the vector in the spawn menu, there it is. This thing is 768 small blocks using the Sparks of the Future, Wasteland and Decorative Block number 2 DLC packs. It features no mods, but it does have a couple of scripts on here such as a unique throttle control, and of course all the other stuff that we used to on small ships. But we'll take a look at that a bit later. For now, we'll give this thing a thumbs up. We'll move all the way around to the very front, we'll have a quick look around the outside, and then we'll fly it around for a bit to see what this thing can do. So at the very front here, this is what we get. As per usual, we got ourselves a camera sitting behind a bulletproof piece of glass to make sure it's nice and protected from any kind of stray shots. Just below that, we got ourselves a offset spotlight to light up the darkness, and just below that, a lone Gatling gun to blast your enemies with. All of this has been surrounded by some lovely red and grey blocks, comes all the way around the main body of this ship. We can also see a grey fighter cockpit sitting right there to drive this thing around, and as we were to continue around the side here, what we're going to see is one hell of a lot of detail. So all the way over to here, we've got ourselves two little LCD screens that says, warning, do not cut canopy within 3 inches of canopy frame, and rescue, turn forward master latch, and after match to open the door. There we go, some important information for a little bit of realism to this ship. Just below that, we can see the size of our Gatling gun, which is using a sound block for some additional decoration, and the start of many armoured plates that we'll see around this ship. If we were to pull away from that and continue along the main body, we'll see a bunch of hydrogen thrusters, as well as some ion thrusters to push this thing around. Now this ship features all 3 types of thrusters, so we are good for just about everywhere, so we can just go from our planet to space and do some exploring without having to worry about anything. But anyway, continuing along all the way across to here, we can see all of our conveyor pipes linking everything together. A lone battery into this corner with another LCD screen that says caution, hot exhaust, and that's very good advice when trying to stick your face near a thruster. If we were to come all the way up to here, we'll see even more good use of our armoured plates that come all the way across over to this section, which is part of our wing that features 2 rocket launchers on both sides and have all been scripted up to fire on a salvo pattern. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then repeats like so. All the way across onto the very side of the swing, we got ourselves some blinking white lights, and of course, as per usual, our green and red lights that we can just see about glowing all the way across to here. I thought it was on top of the wing for a second there, based on where the light was coming from. It is right over here. Anyway, moving all the way around towards the back of our rocket launchers, that is what we get. Then coming back over to the main body of the ship, we can clearly see our hydrogen and ion thrusters, some nice use of our blast or edge blocks in the carbon fiber skin. As we're to come towards the very back of this thing, we can see a large battery sticking out the back there, a couple more ion thrusters, some more blast or edge blocks, another LCD screen with some important information on it sitting on our hydrogen engine. So this says, warning, stand clear of hazard area while engine is running. Some more very good advice when near a ship. And if we were to come all the way across to the very tail of our ship, we've got some nice use of our letter blocks, a transparent LCD screen telling us the name of the ship, and all the way around towards the very back of the ship, this is what's going to push us along. So we've got ourselves 3 hydrogen thrusters and 4 ion thrusters to push us around. And if we were to come all the way further down, a couple of lights, and we can see the bottoms of some more atmospheric thrusters to help us out while on the planet. If we were to continue along the bottom of this, we've got ourselves a rear-facing camera, once again with a bulletproof piece of glass in front of it for some additional protection, and then just looking all the way up and moving down, we can see even more pieces of glass for some decoration, some piston heads, some armoured plates with the hatted skin onto it, and there is our hydrogen engines to power this thing, some more blinking lights which are quite bright actually from down here, then over to a O2H2 generator. Well, that might be an oxygen tank, I always get those blocks mixed up when looking from behind. Anyway, we'll come all the way over to here, we've got ourselves a large hydrogen tank to store all of our fuel inside. A programmable block that's been put to very good use because it's using the angled screen to put fuel port right there. Where once again a camera and a bulletproof piece of glass there's our connector to dock everything up and to refuel this thing. And we can see on our left and right hand side some more hydrogen thrusters to keep us off the ground. And then towards the front, where we're getting blinded by the sunlight, there is our Gatling gun, and there is a lone button which we can try and press later on. I'm pretty sure that is just there for decorative purposes. Moving all the way up and past our fighter cockpit, looking straight down at it, there's some hydrogen thrusters at the front there, another LCD screen where we've got some more labels on here where it says keep clear, docking port for maintenance. Right next to it, we've got ourselves a battery, a merge block, a parachute hatch, and we can see the tops of our hydrogen tank where once again, another LCD screen where it says service this spacecraft with hydrogen fuel. So yes, we just come like that and start to move backwards. We've got some more transparent LCD screens with the name of the ship, some more good use of the letter block spelling the S and the V all the way across to here. We can see ourselves a antenna to make sure we can always find this, and a bunch of atmospheric thrusters towards the back there to help out on a planet. And there we go with this ship. So that was a very brief look around the outside of this ship, and it looks absolutely fantastic with how it's all been set up. Great use of the armoured plates, and like I said, and what it states on the Steam Workshop page is that it's mainly for civilian usage, because in a military scenario, those wings would be very, very flimsy. So what we can do now is just grab hold of my character, bring up the HUD, come over to tab number 1, and we'll go through what it can do. So number 1 and number 2 is our throttle script, where you can press number 1 and number 2 to speed this thing up, so my hands are off the keyboard currently, and pressing number 1 will slow ourselves all the way down. It's a unique way of using a cruise control setup, just by turning it all the way up and turning it all the way down. It's almost like the controls in Star Trek Online, where you're trying to fly around the ship, and you have that little throttle control that you can move up and down. Anyway, number 3 is for our Gatling gun at the very front there, just to shoot it straight forwards, with number 4 to fire all of our rocket launchers together. Getting a good view at it like so, they'll fire on the salvo script, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's how they go. Number 5, 6, and 7 is for our thrusters all the way around the ship, and they're just a simple toggle for the hydrogen thrusters, atmospherics, and the ion thrusters all together. Number 8 and 9 is for our forwards and backwards camera. Then moving over to tab number 2, we've got controls for the lights all the way around the ship, our merge block on and off, antenna on and off, our camera at the very bottom of the ship to help dock this thing up, with number 7 being for our connector to lock and unlock it. Number 8 and number 9 is for our magnetic plates underneath to land this thing and lock it in place. Then over to tab number 3, and then got some more general controls for our O2H2 generator, our parachute hatches, our gyroscopes, our battery, our hydrogen engine, and a master toggle for all of our programmable blocks to switch them all off and all on. And if it was to come into first person view and look down, you can see we've got quite a few scripts on here. So we've got our artificial horizon, we can see our ship status, our ship integrity, and some more stuff down there about our coordinates, and of course time of day. And that is all the ship has to offer. So what we can do now is a thruster test to see how fast it can go, then we'll just find something and slam it straight into it. So moving forwards, what we get is roughly 13 seconds to reach maximum speed, which is respectable for a more civilian type ship. Coming to a stop however and reversing to maximum speed, it's going to take roughly 21 seconds, which is quite slow, but you can always do a 180 and boost forwards to slow down a bit faster. Moving left and right is going to take roughly 15 seconds either way. Moving up is going to take 6 seconds, which is very normal for a ship designed to be on the planet. You're always going to have more thrusters underneath to help keep you afloat while on the planet. And then moving down is the same as reversing, where it's going to take 21 seconds to come to a complete stop or to reverse all the way down to maximum speed. And there we go with that. And of course, wiggling my mouse around, this is what we get. We've got a tiny bit of weight on here, so there is a little bit of drag to the feel of it, but it's still very floaty and very responsive. So it's very easy to do a 180 and stop yourself in time in case you are risking yourself crashing into something. Yes, all that's left to do now is to find ourselves an asteroid, slam it straight into that, and that'll be that for this little ship. So I found a good candidate right over here, so we'll just paste it in. We'll line ourselves all the way up. Wherever it's gone, there it is, and now we're going to start boosting forwards. Of course, we can always start shooting the asteroid and hopefully that'll do something. We can always shoot our rockets as well, and we can always throttle all the way up thanks to our script. So there we go, we're just going to throttle all the way up. Hopefully we'll reach maximum speed. Yeah, we should reach maximum speed. It's a bit further away than I was thinking. But here we go, all the way across. Can easily take my hands off the keyboard now. No need to turn off the dampeners. The script's got control over everything. As per usual, there'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download and play around with this ship. I highly recommend you do because it is wonderfully crafted with those armoured plates, and it looks fantastic overall. There will also be a link to the skybox I'm currently using, because it's a rather nice one, makes everything very blue, and it looks fantastic when you're on an icy planet and it starts to reflect everything. But here we go into the asteroid, straight forwards. And there we go. Not too much damage overall. I was expecting a lot more. We simply lost our nose, our Gatling gun, but we still got full control over this ship. So there we are. It's a rather solid one for a full-on collision at maximum speed. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.